All right, what is going on? It is Nate, and we got another video today. So this one is a pretty, it's a very, very important video, but it's kind of complex. So I need you to kind of follow along. You're gonna need to, I don't know, get out and write notes or something. This is super, super important. And if you can digest this information and understand it and apply it, right? Apply it, because simply like understanding it and learning it isn't gonna do anything. You have to learn it so that you can understand it, and then you can apply it, right? So you have to keep the cycle going. It's not enough to just watch it, be like, yeah, I know, and then you never do it, right? So first things first, let's go over what I'm even talking about. So the video is about decision, right? So I'm going to go over what a decision really is. People do not understand the power of a decision and what it actually leads to, what it changes, and what it can cause in your life, what it can affect, and how really decision is the cause of all change. And so a lot of people, what happens is they wait for things to, be a good circumstance, or it's a perfect situation, or once you have the money, or, once everything lines up, once I'm out of school, everyone has these excuses, but realistically, the truth is they're not going to be able to make the change until they decide to make it. And if they decide to make it right now, everything will work out. Right? If you decide right now what you're going to do, and you say, I'm doing this, I don't care what anyone says, I don't care what the circumstances look like, I don't care what obstacle comes in my way, I'm doing this, I absolutely guarantee you will find the way to do it. But if you say, oh, well, once I'm out of school, then I'll try it. Well, the problem is once you're out of school, you'll have some other excuse, right? It just goes on and on and on. So I'm going to go over what these decisions actually do, because there's an actual, quote unquote scientific thing that they do, or what they alter, which causes you to get different results just simply by making a decision that you commit to, right? So for me, look, I have a countdown timer right here, 24 days until I have to hit my goal, right? So every time I sit at my desk, I see that, and it reminds me, okay, I'm doing this, right? And so it automatically puts your brain into that wave of, okay, I got to do this. How can I do this? What do I got to do? What can I do? And so let's go over, kind of the way things work. And I was making a presentation or my, program about this, and I was making it a section just on decision. And I was making this, and I was like, wow, no one talks about this. I need to put out a video on this, and hopefully it helps somebody. So you have to understand that your decision is what causes you to take the actions that you take, right? So for example, if you make a decision, okay, I'm going on a diet, right? So no matter what you have going on, if you say I'm going on a diet, you might have family dinner tomorrow, you might have something coming up, right? There's always something. But if you make the decision right now, you'll find a way to make it work, right? You'll find a way to still eat, make your diet. Maybe you won't eat breakfast and lunch, and then you'll be able to have your dinner with your, you figure it out. You find the way, because the way is always there. If you want something, there's a way to get it. It's just the way it works. And so you have to understand that this is your current results, right? And so I'm going to try to, I got to turn the pin on. I'm going to try to keep this as non-intimidating, as welcoming as possible. I don't want to be intimidating and bombard you guys with information. But you have to understand a couple things. I'm going to go over kind of frequencies and what that is, and then what it means and how you can use it to your advantage. So you have to understand that we live on different frequencies, right? And so here's the best way I can explain this is if you call my phone, right? If you dial my phone number, there is no one else's phone will ring. Only my phone will ring, right? You can dial my number as many times as you want, whatever, from wherever in the world, however often you want. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. If you dial my number, you're getting my phone, right? That's whose phone's going to ring. So you have to understand that your life is the same exact way. If you are dialing the number of poverty, of lack, of limitation, of whatever it is that you are currently living in, right? Because if you want to know what frequency you're on, look around you, look at your results. That's your frequency. So if you are not happy with your current results, then you have to understand that what is going to take you from your current life to the life you want to live is a decision. That's literally all it is, because when you make the decision, everything else follows. And so I'm going to go over how to properly make a decision, and then what comes from that. So Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich, he studied 25,000 people, 25,000 people that failed in business, and the number one cause of failure was a lack of decision. Right? So I'm not joking about this. I mean, if he studied 25,000 people, and this is in the 1900s, right? So this is when there's not a lot of businesses. There's not online business, right? If you're starting a business, it's like a business, like a physical business. And so 25,000 of them, the biggest cause of failure was a lack of decision, right? So if that doesn't show you how important decision is, then continue watching. I'm going to continue to sell you on it. So you have to understand that we live on these frequencies, right? And so like I said, it's like a phone. And so what that means is no matter where you are, right? So I need you to really digest this. So no matter where you are, right? No matter where I'm at, no matter what my situation is, no matter how tired I am, no matter, it does not matter what's going on. If I dial someone's phone number, I will reach them, right? It doesn't matter if I'm homeless right now. It doesn't matter if I'm on the other side of the world. It doesn't matter where you are. If I dial the number, I'll get it. It doesn't matter if my phone's almost dead. If I dial the number, I'll get it. Right? So you have to understand that this is the way your life works. You are constantly dialing the number through your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter what your situation is. It doesn't matter what's going to happen or what's coming up tomorrow or what's next week or how much money you have. None of it matters. Because you can dial whatever it is that you want at any time from any place, anywhere. So there's literally no limits on what you can do. And so the reason that people put themselves in these boxes is because they don't understand this. And so let me explain how things work, right? So your current results are here, right? This is this blue dot. So whatever your current life is, whatever your income is, whatever it is. These are the thoughts that have got you there, right? Because you think, and that causes you to feel, which causes you to act, which then leads to your results. Right? So whatever thoughts you're thinking right now are leading you to take the actions that you're taking, which are causing you to get the results that you're getting, right? So if you want new results, you're going to have to get new thoughts. Well, the way that you change your thoughts, the way that you go to this next level, the way that you make the change is you make the decision, I'm doing this. I'm earning this much money by this day. I'm doing this, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm getting that new job, right? It applies for everything. I know I use money, but this goes for literally anything. So you making the decision, right? Like me saying right now, I'm earning $100,000 in the next 24 days, right? That is, my mind is like, how are we doing this, right? So immediately I'm on this new level and it's like, okay, how do I do this, right? So now I'm operating from this new thought wave, I guess you would call it. And so now my thoughts are up here, right? So now my thoughts went from my current situation, what's currently going on, the actions I'm currently taking, to now I'm on this level of how do I do this? Like, I got to make this happen. I don't know how to do this. And so now I'm thinking those thoughts. And those thoughts, look what they align with. They align with the goal. So here's, it's going to keep adding more of the same page. So here's what happens, right? You think about what you want, whatever it is you desire, right? So let's just say, for the example, you want to make $100,000 a month. The truth is, you're not going to know how to do it. No one knows how to do anything until they've done it. So if you look on social media and you see people doing something, you see people doing these, starting these businesses or whatever it is, it may seem like they know what's going on. It may seem like they know what to do. They don't know what to do because they've never done it. So you have to understand, you are in the same boat that everyone else is in. No one knows how to do it until they do it. And then as you get better and better at it, you're going to get better compensated for it, right? So you figure out what you want, right? 100K. And then you got to put a date on it. This is very important. This is where I messed up for a long time. I never put a date on it. So it was always, I'm going to make 100K a month. I'll make 100K a month. I'll make 100K a month. And then guess what? 6 months went by and it's like, I'm going to make 100K a month. No, it's like, I'm doing it now, right? The only other time I did this was in March. I made the decision. I said, I'm earning 100K this month. And that's when I started the group. That's when I was all in. That's when I started making YouTube videos. That's when I started making TikToks. I was I was all in. I was doing everything I could. I didn't know how to get the 100K. And I'm going to get into why that's so important. But you have to know what you want, right? Because you're not going to be able to go after something if you don't know what you're going after. So you figure out what you want, and you make a decision with the date, right? So for me, it's August 26th, 8/26, right? So August 26th. And then you don't have to know how. That's the best part about it. So you may be like, oh, well, how am I going to get that? Where's the money going to come from? Where am the clients going to come from? What business is it going to be? Well, the truth is, if you don't have any business right now, if you have no possible way of making the 100K at all, then you probably should start with a somewhat smaller goal, or find the business first or something, because the money's not going to just come in an envelope in the mail. That's not what I'm saying by any means. But what I'm saying is, this is how it works. Let me just summarize the way like law of attraction, all this stuff works. So your thoughts, right? So me thinking about the 100K, me saying I'm earning 100K this month, that does not bring the money into my bank account. What it does is it brings the people, the opportunities, and the situations into my life. But I cannot collect those opportunities. I cannot collect the money. I cannot make the change unless I take the action, right? So basically what it is you're telling God, this is what I want. He's bringing you the situation, and then you, through your actions, have to accept it, right? You can't get something if you don't give something. And so you have to give more than you get. If you are charging, $500 for something, you better give more than $500 of value. So you have to understand that this is a full circle. This isn't like, oh, I'm going to make 100K a month, and then you sit here and you meditate. You're like, oh yeah, the money's going to, someone's going to send me 100K in the mail. I hope they do, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about business, right? Business. So I'm going to make 100K a month, right? So what I like to do is I have like a countdown. So I literally write, I am earning $100,000 in the next 24 days. right? So I've probably already written that like 30 times today, at least, probably more. So you're now putting this almost like a stress on your, not a stress in a bad way, but a stress of like, okay, I got to get moving, right? Because you want to be moving, you want to be taking action, but you don't want to be panicking and just doing stuff to do stuff, right? So it's like this balance between taking inspired action, making the moves, but also understanding that it's not the actions that are going to make you the money. Basically what happens is, as you're taking these actions, you hold the vision on your mind, and as you're taking the actions, this direct action, like this direct video, right? I'm not going to get paid from this. I'm not getting a cent in my bank account by making this video, but by holding the vision as I make this video, I am showing God, this is what I want. I'm moving in the direction, and then therefore he is, doing, this is my giving, and then therefore I will receive in some way, shape, or form. I don't know where, I don't know when, I don't know through who, it doesn't matter, right? We have to understand that you have to give. If you give all the time, you're going to get. But the problem is people just want to sit back and get, and they don't give. They don't do anything. They don't take action. It doesn't work that way. You can't just get a bunch of stuff from life. Your wallet will never be full if you don't give any value, you don't give any help, you don't give any service. It just doesn't work that way. So you put on a date on it, right? And so what happens is now, say right now you're sitting at like, I don't know, you're under 10K. Let's say you're under 10K right now. Somewhere under there, right? You're between 1K and 10K a month. So now you say, I'm earning $100,000 in the next 45 days. You're probably like, I don't have any idea where to even get started, right? So this is step one, is you get out a pen and paper and you write, you get out a pen and paper and you say, how can I earn 100K in the next, whatever. Sorry, I'm writing sloppy. I'm trying to be fast. The next 50 days, 90 days, 100 days. And if you want to do a smaller goal so that it could be like, 45 days, like if you're like, I'm going to make 10K in the next 45 days, whatever it is, you have to understand that you don't want it to be believable, because here's what happens. And I don't want to go completely into this. I'll make a separate video on this, but there's 3 types of goals. There's A-type, B-type, and C-type. A-type goals are goals that you're setting that you've already hit before, right? So if you've hit a 10K a month in the past and you're like, I'm going to make 10K a month. I'm going to make 10K this month, right? That's an A-type goal. It's something you already have done. It's something you already know how to do. You're just doing it again. That is not inspirational. You're not going to wake up, getting out of bed, and be inspired by a goal that you've already done before. And then there's B-type. These are the goals that are logical, right? So say you're normally making 10K a month, and next month you're like, I'm going to try to make 11 or 12K, right? So it's like a little jump, but not anything crazy. That's not going to inspire you. That's not going to change you. You're just going to do more of exactly what you're already doing. So you're going to live the same life, but be busier, right? So that's not going to inspire you either. You're going to be living the same life, but probably worse living conditions because you're going to be so busy. And then you have C-type. These are the goals that don't make any sense, but it's what you really want, right? Because if I told you right now, you can have anything you want in life, you can make any amount of money, I guarantee you it would be a different answer than what you would have just said for your A or B type goal, right? If I said right now, before I said that, if I said how much you want to make, you'd probably be like, oh, 10K, right? You're being realistic. You're being logical. Well, let me tell you something. There's no such thing as realistic or logical. Everything just is. You get to pick your realistic. You get to pick your logical based on your perception, which is a whole other video based on the way you're raised. But anyways, you have to understand that you need a goal that scares you, that you have no idea how to do. That's the best goal, right? So I wrote down I was making 100K this month, and I said, I don't know how. So what causes that? Or what happens when that's the situation, right? Is you surrender. You literally have to surrender, right? You say, God, I don't know how to do this, right? I'm earning $100,000 in the next 45 days, but I have no idea how to do this, right? So you're in this act of surrendering. So what does that do? It opens your mind. So now you're open to these ideas, you're open to these suggestions, you're open to the possibilities, you're open to the opportunity. You're looking for the opportunities, you're looking for the income sources, right? Your eyes are open. You're on this new level of, okay, wait, what can I do? How can I do this? What if I did this and this and this? And the truth is, whatever you think right now, whatever method you think is going to get you to the 100K, it's probably not going to be that method. Like when I first started this, I was going to do some marketing business or something, right? I'm not doing any of that, and I'm glad I'm not, because I really didn't like it. It was just me getting the ball rolling, right? I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to start this. And then I started it, and I was like, this is so inauthentic. Like, this is not me at all. So then I stopped doing it. And I started studying this stuff, and I was like, I want to teach this stuff. Like, I love this. I want to help other people understand this and apply this. So you just have to understand that you don't know how, and you have to understand that's what you have to accept. You have to be okay with not knowing how, because then it opens you to this new level, right? Like I was saying, the frequency thing. So if you are on this new level and you're like, I'm doing this, the next 45 days I'm doing this, and you're kind of in this state of, I don't know how it's going to happen, guess what? You're allowing those ideas to flow to you. You're not saying, I don't know how. I don't know how to do this. I don't want to do this. I can't do that, right? That's what happens is people will say, oh, I want to make 10K this month. I can't do that, right? And guess what? Bam, just like that. You're not going to do it. You're never going to do it. You're going to be stuck forever. But it's literally the simple change of, I may not understand how to do it, but God, the God that created you, the creator of all creations, wants you to achieve your goals more than you want to. And let me explain why. The same God that has all of the plants growing, all the trees growing, all the animals growing, all the populations growing, there's more cars, more buildings, more houses, more golf courses, there's more everything always. Everything's just getting bigger and better. So you have to understand who's behind all of this, right? Now, I'm not saying God is here, sitting here, building these buildings, but what I'm saying is he's working through people for this growth. And that same spirit, that same desire is within you. That's why you want more. That's why you want a new car. That's why you want more money. That's why you want a new job, right? Because you want more out of life. And that is exactly what God wants for you. But you have to understand that you are the only one stopping you. But a decision is what changes that. And people don't like to make decisions because guess what? You make a decision, that means you could fail. People don't like to fail. Oh, I don't want to set myself up for failure. Guess what? The person you will become in the next 45 days, if you make this decision, will be worth far more than whatever money you could even earn. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if you earn $0. I guarantee you the person you will become in the next 45 days of striving toward a goal, with holding the vision in your mind, while working on your gratitude, while staying close and connected to God, I guarantee you'll be a whole different person. I guarantee it. So you have to understand that, you need to surrender. And so that the biggest thing is making the decision, but actually committing to it. So a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I like this. This is cool. And so they'll write it down, I'm earning this much. And then tomorrow they forget about it. And the next day they forget about it. And then maybe 10 days later, they'll be like, oh yeah. And then they'll be like, why is it not happening, right? What do you think? This has to be an obsession. Like, you have to want it. Like, it shouldn't, like, the best example I can give, like, if you're a dude, I'm assuming you're a dude. It's like if there's a girl and you like her, and you have a crush on her, you don't have to get out a card and read it and be like, I'm so happy and grateful. No, you can just see her, right? You think about it all the time, whatever it is you love. If it's a sport, if it's a video game, it doesn't matter what it is. You just think about it naturally, right? It floods your mind because you're quote unquote obsessed with it, right? That's just what you desire. You have to turn this into that. You have to make this goal a burning desire. Like Napoleon Hill says, a burning desire. It's not enough to be a desire. A desire is more of like a hope and a wish. It can't be a hope and wish. You don't get what you wish for. You don't get what you hope for. You get who you are. And so what happens is when you make a decision, it changes who you are. And that's like the most valuable thing I could even say in this video. Making a decision changes who you are, because making a decision changes your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, which means it changes your attitude. And your attitude is who you are. Right? Can you agree that however you think, however you feel, and the actions you take and the results you get, that is who you are. So if you make a decision and it changes your thoughts, it changes your feelings, it changes your actions, which leads to new results, would you agree that the decision changed you? Right? And so to continue with this, like, this is more just to get a deeper understanding of why this works, or how how this all kind of circles together. So we know that creation is finished, right? It says that, and no matter what you study, right? We know that stuff isn't just spawning in, right? Everything that is here everything's already here. Everything is in some way, right? So this phone, they didn't spawn the things from nothingness to make this, right? They use these molecules, or these different materials and these different things from the earth that they were able to gather together and reform into this device, right? So they didn't create it; they basically reorganized. But everything for the phone was already existent. The way for the phone to be made was already existent, right? The frequency, they tuned into it, they dialed into it, they held that image on their mind. They're like, oh my gosh, what if we had this thing that you could call people, and they're able to see this. Who knows why they had the thought go in their mind to begin with. I don't know how, first time inventors really come up with stuff. I don't know. But you have to understand that everything is already here, which means that the way, I'm not even going to write it because it takes so long, but the way for you to get whatever you want, the way for you to earn $100,000 in the next 24 days, the next 30 days, the next 100 days, next year, the way for you to do that is already existent. You're not creating anything new. It's the money is already here. It's in someone else's bank account. Maybe 50 people's bank account, maybe 100 people's bank accounts. I don't know. But the money is already here. So you're not trying to create this money. You're not making money. You're earning it, right? So you need to do something in return for it. And so what happens is you make the decision alters the level that you're living on, and then the things that are brought to you all align with whatever frequency you're on, right? So if you're saying I'm earning $100,000 this month, these new opportunities are coming to you because whatever you seek is seeking you, right? Like I said, God wants you to achieve your goals more than you even want to. So you say, God, I'm ready for this. I'm doing this. He says, great, about time, right? I've been waiting for you to make that decision for a while now. Bam. Now it clicks. Now, does that mean you're instantly going to get what you want? No. There's time. There's a delay between when you get it spiritually and, in your imagination and in your head to the time when it actually comes into the physical world. But that's where the faith comes in, right? You have to understand that when you make this decision, when you say you're going to do this, you're going to be doing things that aren't comfortable. You're going to be making new decisions. You're going to be in new situations, and you're not going to have any results to back it for a little bit, right? Because the world's not going to instantly form to this. It starts forming instantly. You make the decision, it starts, but you can't see that. It takes time until you can see it. Just like hitting the gym. You start going to the gym, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, wow, I'm ripped, right? It's going to take time before you see results. It's the same exact thing with this. So what happens is you go to this new level and you live there and you say, okay, I don't know how to do this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And you let that flood your mind. And you don't spend any time thinking about how you can't. You don't spend any time thinking about why it won't work. You don't spend any time thinking about what could go wrong. You don't spend any time doing that. Because whatever you give your attention to grows. If you are spending all your time thinking about the worst case scenarios, what if this happens, what if that happens, you are allowing those things to grow. And that is probably what's going to happen. But you have the ability to, with your will, we all have our willpower, you have the ability to focus on, okay, I'm doing this, right? A negative thought comes in, pull your vision back to what you're doing and say, it is done, right? Remind yourself, it's already done. You already have it spiritually. It is done. It is done. And then think, how can I do this? What can I do? What can I do? How can I do this? And just open your mind. Just allow these thoughts to flow. You kind of want to be in this flow state. Like the best way I can explain it is when you're going to get the best ideas is when you're just seeing the vision, but you're not like thinking anything. Your mind's just clear. Like you just kind of look like, I don't know, like you're high, I guess. Like you're just kind of like, happy. You see the vision, but you're not thinking. And then that's when the thoughts can come to you. Because if you're filling your mind with stuff, which yes, you have to plant the thoughts in your mind. You have to get it in your mind to get it circulating in there. But you don't want to just be cramming stuff into your mind because, it's like cramming before a test. It just doesn't work. You have to let it flow. And so you get into this flow state while you're on that level, right? So you see that vision and you're in the state of allowing these ideas to come. Guess what? You're going to get the ideas and you're going to not understand how the things will connect, right? Like me making this video, this could go viral. I could get 1 million views on this video, right? I have no idea. You don't know how things are going to connect. You don't know how things are going to work out. So don't act like you do. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I could give. Don't act like you know how things are going to work because you don't. None of us do. Only God knows how it works. And so that's why it's so important to release it and say, I don't know how this is going to work. This is my decision. This is what I'm doing. And you tune into that and you stay there. So like I said, creation is finished and all of the knowledge is here. So the way for you to get what it is you want, the way for you to get the car, the way for you to get the money, whatever it is, the car you want is probably already made. If it's not already made, then the materials for it to be made are already existent. So you're not creating. You are basically you're aligning. You're showing God, look, this is, because God, you communicate to God through your thoughts and through your feelings. Right? So whatever you truly feel, that's why like if you say a prayer and you don't mean it and you're just, or like you read the Bible and you're just reading it to read it, it doesn't do anything because you don't feel it. So you have to feel whatever it is you're doing, right? So if you feel like you earn $100,000 a month, you see the $100,000 a month, you are communicating that to God, like, God, I'm ready for this, right? And then he starts to align things as they need to be. Things might go backwards before they go forward, right? Most people lose thousands when they make their first million. Most people lose millions to make their first 100 million, right? It's a cycle. You have to pull back before you could go forward. So understand that it's not going to just be a smooth sail all the way to the top. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be struggles. It's going to happen. It's life, right? If everything was just good all the time, everyone would be rich and happy. But it's the matter of who you are when things fall apart. When things fall apart, are you able to stay consistent? When things fall apart, are you still holding your vision? When things fall apart, are you giving up? When things fall apart, are you going to your vices? Are you going to the drinking, the smoking, or are you going to God? Right? Because there's both paths. Because things aren't going to always be easy. So you have to make this decision, and you have to lean on God, not on the world, not on yourself. Like literally, you want to take yourself out of it as much as possible. You are just becoming a channel for God to work through. And then by doing that, he can express himself through you. Because those desires within you, who do you think gave you those? Why do you think you have the desire to do more and to have more and to be more and to travel and to do all these things? Who do you think put that there? God, right? So it's like, he wants you to fully express yourself and grow and expand and do more. Because guess what? You getting rich will inspire more people to get rich. You getting rich, you can help other people. You getting rich, you can live a full life. People say money, oh, money is evil, money's evil. No, the love of money is evil. If money is your God, that's when it's evil. But when you understand that God wants you to have money, and you understand that the money is coming from God, I'm not doing any of this. I don't even plan these videos. I don't even know. I just come on here and God just flows through me. Like I literally just said I'm going to make a video on decision. That is the only thought I put into this video. And I've been talking for 26 minutes, right? It's not Nate talking. So you have to understand that you get into this state of allowing him to work through you. And I know that this video is going to reach at least one person and it will help them. And to me, that's worth it, right? So make a decision right now. Don't say tomorrow. Don't say later. Don't say you'll start next week, next month. Make a decision right now. What do you really want? Make sure it's a goal that you actually want, not something that you think you can get, not something you hope you can have. What do you want? If I said you could have anything, because you truly can. If I said you could have anything, what would you say you wanted? That's the goal. Because you can have it. If someone else can have it, you have the same mind as them. You have the same access to knowledge as them. You have the same abilities as anyone in this world. So if anyone else has done it, you are equally capable. And if that makes you mad, if you don't believe that, that is your conditioning. That is the way you are programmed. You are programmed to believe that you can't do this, you can't do that because of this, that, and the other thing. Truth is, you make a decision to do it, you'll do it. It's all decision. So make a decision on what you want, put a date on it, sit down and say, what can I do right now to get the ball rolling? Make a list, right? This is the best thing I can give. Make a list, 6 things you have to do every single day that move you towards your goal, right? It could be waking up earlier. It could be, putting time into learning a skill. There's a million different opportunities because I don't know what your goal is, but you need to make sure that your actions are aligning with that future that you desire. If you want to make a bunch of money, but you're just scrolling on social media all day, it's not going to work. When's the money going to come? What are you doing, right? You have to understand that your actions lead you down this path. And so the goal is to reprogram your thoughts and your feelings so you naturally take these actions. But until that naturally takes over, you have to make these actions a habit. You have to, I forgot who said it, but there's a quote, successful people make a habit of doing the things that failures hate to do. Because the truth is, the things that you don't want to do are the best things for you. You don't want to do the cardio, that's the best thing for you. You don't want to get up early, that's the best thing for you. You don't want to read the Bible, it's the best thing for you. Right? Everything we don't want to do is what you should do. So a lot of times if you ask yourself, what should I be doing? Ask yourself, what have I been putting off? Because usually that is the biggest door. That is the biggest door you can walk through. So make a decision, put a date on it, and get moving. Make a list of 6 things you can do every single day, and do not allow yourself to go to sleep until you do all 6 things. I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care how busy you are. You do not go to sleep until you do all 6 of those. And then after a month, you can go through and make a new list because those should all be habits. Bam, now you have 6 new habits. Then you do 6 more, 6 more. In a year, you'll have 72 new habits. That's a new person, right? So please actually apply this. Don't just listen. But that's all for this video. It was kind of longer than I thought. It was almost 30 minutes. But I hope that helped. But just understand that your decision is what causes the change. Don't wait for the change to make a decision. If you wait for the money to come before you make a decision, the money will never come. If you make the decision, the money will come. Your decision is what causes the world to form around you. If you wait for the world to form around you for you to make the decision, nothing will ever change. You'll be stuck in the same exact spot for years. So sit down, decide on what you want, make a decision, I'm doing this, and get moving. And don't let anyone stop you. Keep momentum. That's the biggest thing, momentum. Don't stop. Don't stop. It doesn't matter if you don't see the results, you don't see anything working out, keep going. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Because eventually you'll find the right path. So that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next one.